Well, welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and it's the Premier League week 37. Just 2 more fixtures to go for all of these teams. Lots to play for between Chelsea, Leicester, and Liverpool. Liverpool, not even last gasp. I mean, they were in the changing rooms when they got the winner, and it was the keeper-headed goal. Not many people who had ever seen that before, but yeah, you got to see it this weekend, and they let a lot of people down in their parlays. First of all, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, and ring the bell. Ring the bell means I'll notify you, and that means you won't miss the US PGA show tomorrow. I cannot wait. I'm wishing my life away. I will be going to sleep early tonight, just so that tomorrow comes a lot quicker. I've got Martin and I've got Matt. But first of all, you press the link in the description that will take you over to all the articles that we have here on SBR. Every video is covered by an article, and some sports that are not covered by video are covered by an article wrote by either Martin or Tan or Alex, but there is so much over there for you to go and see. I'll come to you first, Matt. Becker scoring, anytime goal scorer, could have been any price you like.
The Alisson Becker miracle. What a moment when it happened. I ran around my house like a little kid. It was just an incredible moment, and could be such a huge, boost for this group. It's just all about qualifying for the Champions League. And if they were to do so when Virgil van Dijk comes back and Gomez, they would be one of the favorites for the competition. So it's about how do you get in? It doesn't matter how you get in, but yeah, the Alisson Becker miracle. It was incredible. It was a fantastic header. And hopefully that can give them a little boost here in the final 2 matches against Burnley and Palace.
Martin, I thought that Liverpool were very ordinary. 21, 22 shots on goal, but I can't remember the keeper having 3 or 4 saves to make in the whole game. I thought they were very sloppy, considering they needed to score goals to close up the goal difference, and also they needed to win the game convincingly.
They did. I do give some credit to West Brom, because I thought they were pretty good. For a team that's already been relegated and has nothing left to play for, they did put in a good shift, and they were keen to stifle Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool had a lot of the ball, didn't they? I think they had about 77% of possession and something like 26 shots on goal. So they were dominating the ball. They just weren't really working it particularly quickly in the final third, and they weren't creating enough chances. It doesn't augur particularly well for a game against Burnley, but Burnley have been in poor form as well, taken apart by Leeds. So I still think that that Liverpool can get the job done in there, and I think they're going to finish in the top 4 now. Just all on tonight. Who loses out of Chelsea and Leicester is falling out of the top 4, so it'll be a fascinating game.
Yeah, okay, well, let's kick straight off then. I'll come to you first then, Matt. It's Man United minus 270, draw plus 450, and Fulham at 860. We're going to see some strange results over the next 2 sets of fixtures. Are we going to see one at Old Trafford with Fulham at plus 860?
I don't believe so. I wrote down on this one, I think it's a complete lineup checker. We're just going to find out really what Solskjaer would like to do here with this lineup. If I would like to expect Cavani in the lineup. Rashford should probably play. And if that happens, Cavani anytime goal scorer. There's no reason to go away from that. He's still been on fire. And I think that United win the game. And I think that they're more than valuable to be included in a parlay. I think that they win this game. It's just sitting here right now, I need to see the lineups in this one, just because, a couple matches ago, Solskjaer put out the young boys, and that would be a cause for concern for me.
Massive cause concern, Martin, because they were ordinary against Liverpool. They've slipped up the week before. Can you trust them to just go about their business? There's no reason for them to go about their business. And they've got a big cup final in less than 10 days.
Yeah, I can totally trust them to go about their business, Flash, because I think those 2 defeats came at the end of a run of 8 matches in 4 days. Sorry, 4 matches in 8 days.
It's 2 a day, that.
That would be impressive. But they rested all of their players against Leicester and duly lost. And when the players came back into the side against Liverpool, I think they were still fatigued. Liverpool had played hardly anything. They played like 2 games in 2 weeks, so they were a lot fresher. and got the better of them. But I expect Man United to bounce back with a win in this one against the Fulham team that have been terrible in recent weeks, going down with a bit of a whimper. If Man United win this game, they'll definitely sew up second place. And then they can rest everyone for the Wolves match on the final day of the season and just concentrate on the Europa League final. But I don't think you want to be going into the Europa League final on the back of a long run of losses. So get a morale-boosting win against Fulham, rest everyone against Wolves, go on and win the Europa League. I'm going for Man United to win and over 1.5 goals, or Man United to win under 4.5 goals for more value. But I would also look at Man United covering the spread of minus 1.5.
Okay, Man United to win by 2 goals. Okay, the next game, Southampton, the mighty Saints, got us our plus 100 at the weekend. Absolutely cruising. They're at plus 180, draw plus 275. And Leeds, mightily impressive again, at plus 155. Martin, I don't know where to go with this game. I think both teams score. But the thing is, every time I said after the first game of the season when Leeds went to Liverpool, that just at your peril, doubt Leeds. And every time I've doubted them, they've killed me. I don't think I've cashed hardly ever, or maybe once, Palace away. And then I was lucky with VAR.
Yeah, they're a very unpredictable team, aren't they? It kind of depends on their energy levels. They're a pretty good one for in-play betting, because if you watch the first 5 minutes and they look like they're sharp and they're up for it, you can generally expect them to put in a really good performance and go on and win. But sometimes they look a little lethargic. I think they'll be up for this game, and you know the way they won convincingly last time out suggests to me that they can do a number on Southampton in this game. Still don't trust the Saints defensively very much, and yeah, I think of the two, Leeds are the more impressive side. Very, very good going forwards at the moment. So I've gone for Leeds draw no bet, and I've got minus 115. But since I sent you that tip, the odds have drifted again, so you can get even better odds now if you so desire.
It's not often you put a bet in and then the odds drift. Normally they come in. I've actually gone with a draw here. I think that Southampton versus Leeds is maybe a 2-2 end of season spectacle, or we could go the other end of the spectrum, Matt, and it's 0-0.
Yeah, I think it's more of the end of the season kind of spectacle here. That's what most of my winners were last week, was picking matches that really just did not matter and taking the over with them. The weather's a little bit better, hopefully this week too. And I just see two teams that are going to score goals. I haven't really complicated it here, but I do think that the Alex Classic is probably the way to go here. I think that both teams get on the score sheet and it goes over 2.5. I've gone with the over 3 goals at 1.95. I just see that these two teams are going to go out, have some fun. Strikers are in pretty decent form, especially for the mighty Saints. And I would probably agree with Martin to touch on just having Leeds on side in the draw no bet market if I had to take that side. But for me, it's goals.
I just look at it and go plus 290 for the draw. I mean, I feel as if it's going to be quite a tight game. So with 10, 15 minutes to go, it's still a draw. I'm jumping out of that at odds on. So for me, I'm taking the biggest price early on. Next game is Brighton plus 680, draw plus 360, Man City minus 195. Surely, Matt, we're looking at Man City minus 195 in a parlay, just finding something else to go with it.
Yes. Yep. I would agree. City, even their rotational squad should be much, too strong for Brighton here. But I've gone with goals. I think that City will. They scored plenty of goals over the weekend. That was a thriller against Newcastle, and I expect something here too. And I wouldn't count out Brighton to be able to get on the score sheet as well. City, it's all about really just trying to rest up. De Bruyne probably won't feature here again, and it's all about the Champions League final. That's where their season will be won or lost, really, and deemed a success or a failure. So I just don't see any reason why these two teams can push this one over 2.5 goals. Brighton should be able to create a couple opportunities, but City can get 3 on their own. So I've gone with the over 2.5 at minus 120.
Seems like a sensible bet, that, Mark. Ferran Torres, hat-trick away at Newcastle, always seems to get your shots off. So even if it may be in the bet builder, you're looking at shots. But Ferran Torres, anytime goal scorer, looks good as well.
Yeah, he's a terrific player. I did say in our last show that there's going to be Man City forwards that are trying to impress Pep Guardiola in the weeks ahead. They're not going to start in the Champions League final. But with a performance like that, he might come off the bench and get half hour against Chelsea if they're chasing the game. You never know. So, yeah, like Matt said, I think some of these strikers will be keen to impress in the next couple of games. I'm not sure about this game. I do feel like Man City can win it. I'm just not sure how they will win it. I wasn't expecting 4-3 against Newcastle last time out. It's not the way Newcastle normally play, and it's not the way Man City normally play. And that just gives me cause for concern. I'm a little bit worried about players pulling out of tackles, not wanting to get injured. And, yeah, I probably would prefer to see the starting 11 before betting on this game. But, yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't put Man City in a parlay.
Yeah, Matt, I think you'd probably go with the cards and under, unless it's at some stupid level like 3 or something like that. Next game, repeat of the FA Cup final, which is part of my life. I'm never going to get back and don't want it back, to be honest. It's Chelsea minus 135, draw plus 270, Leicester plus 450. Chelsea were absolutely abysmal over the weekend. I thought the manager got it completely wrong, playing 2 holding midfielders in a cup final. And I can't remember him having 2 or 3 shots actually on target. Martin, that they missed the opportunity, and that's when sometimes you get when you have a foreign coach that comes in and thinks he can treat it like a league game.
Yeah, perhaps. I didn't think Chelsea were too bad, to be honest. I thought it was.
But they didn't have no shots. They didn't create anything.
I mean, well, Mason Mount almost scored, didn't he? That was.
But after they're chasing the game and they're 1-0 down in the 83rd minute.
And they did think they'd equalised, but VAR swooped in and came to the rescue. Yeah, it probably wasn't one of the classic cup finals, but what a goal from Tielemans. That's worthy of winning.
Do you not think that was handball? Do you not think that was handball? Does he get the way I would say it, right? Is his knee gone onto his arm, right? If someone shoots and he's on the goal line and it hits his knee and goes onto his arm to stop it going in there, does he give a penalty?
No, probably not.
What, he doesn't give a penalty?
Depends how close it is, doesn't it?
If he's on the line. If he's on the line and it hits the lad's knee onto his arm, does he give a penalty? He gives a penalty every day. And yet on the middle of the pitch, he doesn't give the foul. The ball breaks, he scores. Great finish, I know. But surely it's handball. If he doesn't hit his arm, they don't win the possession.
Maybe.
And I'm talking from my pocket, by the way.
Either way, I mean, yeah, to be honest, I thought Chelsea would win it, so I had a bet on Chelsea to win the game. But, I can't begrudge Leicester. They're a fantastic club, well run, and it was a terrific strike. It's the sort of goal that used to decide FA Cup finals. I remember Di Matteo scoring a goal like that, Ray Parlour scoring a goal like that. But anyway, they have to move on now. They have to rally themselves quite quickly. In some ways, it seems counterintuitive to bet against Leicester in this game because they did just beat Chelsea. They haven't lost to Chelsea since September 2017 in the league. But I can't forget that this is a Chelsea team that, beat Man City twice in the past month. They knocked Atletico Madrid out. They knocked Real Madrid out of the Champions League. The best teams really should learn from their mistakes and figure out a way to turn things around. I think they can find a way to go on and win this game. Consolation prize after losing the cup final, obviously. But, yeah, I think they can turn things around in this one. Not sure how tired Leicester will be. They were chasing quite a lot. They didn't have a great deal of possession in that second half. So they could be tired. There could be an FA Cup hangover. I'm sort of leaning towards Chelsea for this game. Don't think it's going to be a high-scoring one. Chelsea in under 4.5 goals.
So would you suggest maybe to some people it's a straight Man City-Chelsea parlay? Money line?
Yeah. Don't see why not.
Probably pays about 160, plus 160.
Yep.
I'd prefer Man United, to be honest, than Man City.
Okay, well then you put all 3 of them in, Man United, Man City and Chelsea. Here we go. We're building a parlay, Matt.
Yes. So the thing is, this is like another FA Cup final. I mean, top 4 is on the line with Liverpool putting pressure on these boys. And you could argue that financially there's a great stake with this match. And it's just, this is going to be huge. Can you imagine if Chelsea were to be knocked out of the top 4 and then lose to City? And everyone, we've been talking about how great Thomas Tuchel has been all season, and they just collapse at the end. I mean, that would be a wild.
We've seen it before with others.
Oh, of course we have. And so this one, this is another cup final right here. And it's one that I don't really want to get involved with. I think that, like I mentioned in last week's video, I thought it would be KG and unders. We all went with Chelsea, but it was definitely KG and unders. There was just not a lot of clear-cut opportunities. It took a worldie from Tielemans. I think that unders is probably the way to go again here. Two pretty solid defenses, two teams that, they waste chances when you talk about Werner and Havertz at times being a bit wasteful. This match is humongous, though, and I just really would like to be watching it from a neutral perspective. I'd be looking more towards a draw and the unders here. But yeah, this is a huge match, and it's the biggest match of the week.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that will want to be with Chelsea and fancy that they will get the job done and show their European form. But the next game is my banker. I'm going to go with a Newcastle at -125. The draw is at 285, and Sheffield United at +400. Sheffield United killed nearly absolutely everyone at the weekend by one keeping a clean sheet, which is rare, but then winning as well and taking 3 points, 1-0 away at Everton. I was really impressed with the way that Newcastle, they played Joe Linton, they played St. Maximin, Callum Wilson, and they played Almiron, and they had the lad from Arsenal, 5 attacking players. If they go like that again, then I've gone with Newcastle to win and over 1.5, and I'm not even going to bother complicating it any further. Matt?
I couldn't agree with you more. If we see an attacking lineup like that, Newcastle are a bet-on team right now. They're just playing with freedom. And they're an attacking side when those players are fully fit. They've been my favorite team to bet an over on when those guys are in, but they've had just some of the injury bug like so many teams this season. But I think that Newcastle have no problem taking care of Sheffield United, and I think that they score 2 or 3. I think a team total is interesting for Newcastle, but again, Sheffield just playing free as well. So I think that these are two teams that are just going to go out there and just play and just enjoy being out there. And I think that this is an over 2.5 spot at -115. I wouldn't be shocked to see Newcastle get there themselves.
+110, Martin, for Newcastle and over 1.5.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, it was a really exciting performance from Newcastle. I love the way they took the game to Man City. They figured they're not going to get anywhere just by sitting back and defending, so they threw on a bunch of attackers. Neither of the Longstaffs played. They just went, everyone, get out there and try and score. Whether you can do that against Sheffield United or not, I'm not sure. Sheffield United are a much more tight, defensive, cautious sort of team. And the way they beat Everton 1-0, that suggests they've still got some fight left in them, and they could still bust a few coupons before the season is out. I don't really want to be betting against Sheffield United right now, especially when it's a team like Newcastle who have been pretty poor at home this season. So I'm passing, but good luck to you. If you're on them, I'll cheer for the Magpies too.
Yeah, I'm not just on them; they're my banker. I'm not having Sheffield United. No chance. Especially, I'd want to see Willock and Joel Linton, Almiron, St. Maximin, and I'd want to see Wilson. And remember, Matt Ritchie played as well, so maybe like 6 attacking-minded players. Let's move on because we've got Spurs done the job at the weekend, but Everton let me down in my parlay. -200, draw +400, Villa +500. Don't like this game, Martin. I think it smells.
Well, there's Harry Kane and Mohamed Salah are joint top of the goal-scoring charts. Only one of them can obviously win the Golden Boot. And
can they not share it?
Well, they could, but then, it's not quite the same, is it? And I think Salah is going to take a starring role against Burnley when Liverpool play. They really need to win their next 2 games. So I think the onus is on Kane to keep on scoring. I think he's going to get on the score sheet in this one. Haven't been very impressed with Aston Villa in recent weeks. Their season has really fizzled out since Jack Grealish went out of the team, got a bad injury, and they just haven't really been turning up. Defence doesn't really excite me. I think Harry Kane's getting on the score sheet in this one to put himself in the shop window. I've got -120 on him scoring at any time.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a bad one, but it's free kicks and penalties. Harry Kane to score at any time. Anything from you, though, Matt?
I think that Martin has a good angle here. I think taking just the Kane instead of just taking Spurs at the minus 200. I think that's value because of what you touched on too, Flash. Just free kicks, penalties. He'll have a couple good looks inside the box, and I think that that's fair enough. This match kind of smells to me, though, too, but Spurs are in good form right now. They're playing pretty well. They probably scrape this one here. Grealish will start, but I think that Villa's defense is been quality this season. Konsa and Mings have formed a really respectable partnership in this league. And so I think that this one might be tight. I could see this one being unders, and maybe one goal might be enough here to get the job done. So, but I've completely left this one. I've swerved it.
I think there's plenty of people that think this could be like a 4-3 match, and like maybe the spectacle again, because all the boys from Villa that got a lot of forward thinking, they're all wanting to score goals and maybe push for their national squads that are obviously going to go to the Euros. Next game, I think there's value here. Palace plus 600, draw plus 360, and Arsenal minus 195 away from home. Matt, can't have Arsenal on my mind. Palace went behind twice at the weekend and still came back and scored a third. When have they ever scored 3 in a game? I mean, listen, we've got to go back to maybe September or October.
Palace only score 3 normally when I bet against them. So it's one of those. But I did have the Palace over come in last week, so that was nice. It's just they're playing similar to Newcastle in a way. Just a lot more strikers, a lot more just goal scorers right now, and they're playing with freedom. Roy Hodgson just letting them go out and play. Palace have given Arsenal fits in the past at times. I think that Palace are too big here. I would be looking towards Palace +1. I don't see them getting beat by a margin, so I think that you would get your money back there. But I think it's goals. Goals again, Arsenal. Really don't have a lot to play for right now. Palace going out and playing for fun. So for me, it's an over 2 3/4 goals on the Asian handicap at +100. Both teams probably get on the score sheet, and we see 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 here. I think that this is just going to be a goal fest.
Wow, Martin, you're the Arsenal fan. I've gone with Palace at +600, not complicating it. I think that Palace beat them up, to be honest.
Well, Arsenal have got a terrible record against Palace. I think
and they're not in the type of form where you'd think that they're going to go there and win, surely.
Why not? They won 3 games in a row.
No. I saw them not beat Villarreal less than a week ago.
3 Premier League games in a row.
Oh, well.
Premier League.
There we go.
Not when they needed to win. Not in the game that they needed to win. When they were in a trench, they came out with their little spud gun, They had no fire in their belly.
Yeah, but you've just answered your own question there. They couldn't win when they needed to, but they've since been winning when they don't need to. So they don't need to beat Crystal Palace. So why can't they go and beat Crystal Palace if they can beat?
Because
Chelsea,
they never beat Palace.
But I think they're overdue. Sooner or later, they can't just keep not beating Crystal Palace every time they play them. A 6-game winless streak against the team of Crystal Palace's quality is just no good.
Home and away.
I do think they are playing with a bit of freedom now that the pressure's off, which doesn't speak volumes about the general level of character and within that Arsenal team and backbone within that Arsenal team. But I don't see why they can't get a result against Crystal Palace here. Palace are kind of on their summer holidays as well. Neither team's got a great deal left to play for. I do think Arsenal are still the better team. 1-3 in a row in the league. Arsenal and over 1.5 goals. Looks good to me.
I didn't think you was going to say Crystal Palace +600, but I have gone with Palace +600, and if they go further out, I may have a little bit more. Last game, Burnley +1100, draw +600, Liverpool -380. Liverpool killed me yesterday. Well done to Becca, but come on now, you've got to be beating West Brom in a far more convincing fashion, especially when you need the points and you need to improve that goal difference. Martin.
Yeah, it's come right down to the wire for Liverpool, but congratulations to them, winning 3 games on the bounce at a clutch moment of the season. And what scenes against West Brom. you just love to see Sam Allardyce's face after something like that. And it was just a fantastic header from Alisson. The goalkeepers always go up at the death, and they never really seem to get anywhere. Normally the ball doesn't even go to them, but that was a header that any striker would be proud of. It would be terrible to have come through all of that and then throw it all away against Burnley. They absolutely have to go and win this game.
I remember Michael score an unbelievable volley.
Yeah, I remember that as well. It does happen occasionally, and it's always a massive deal when it does. But Liverpool lost 1-0 to Burnley earlier this season. That was one of those. Again, I think they had 26 shots on goal in that game, 72% of the possession. It was another one where they dominated and just couldn't make their chances pay. But, the way Burnley capitulated against Leeds last time out, you've got to be thinking that Liverpool are going to go and win this game. I haven't put down an official bet on it, but if I was going to, I'm looking at Liverpool to win and both teams to score at plus 150. Still don't trust the inexperienced defensive partnership of Liverpool, but I think they'll be pouring men forward. Jota's out, so it'll be Firmino, Salah and Mane, and I think they should be able to overwhelm this Burnley defence.
The big gap for me was Gigi Wijnaldum, Matt. I thought that he was absolutely brilliant at Old Trafford, and then they left him out. And then when he came on, he was like fizzy, moved the ball quickly. And I think that's what Liverpool need to do, is move the ball quickly. I have to leave the game alone.
Yeah, I see this one very similar to the West Brom match, guys. I kind of mentioned that I thought that, getting West Brom in a handicap situation could be decent, but I thought that, the halftime, full-time of Liverpool would prevail and they'd maybe win by 1 goal or so. I think that they need to start fast here again. I think that a halftime, full-time, or what Martin said, Liverpool to win and both teams to score, those are the only 2 angles for me. If you want to get Liverpool on sides here, and what Martin touched on earlier as well, Salah could have a field day here. This could be 1 or 2 goals from Salah. So maybe him anytime or first, or to score multiple looks good. Nick Pope is questionable here, and that is a big move. That's a big deal in this match. We know how good Pope is. If he misses out here, I have written down Burnley +2. I'll be pulling out of that one most likely, because I've seen Pope make worldy saves before. They really need him in net here. But I just think that Burnley can keep this one tight, and I don't trust Liverpool's defense enough. Burnley's going to be throwing long balls into the box, and it's just, you can see it, guys. I mean, Liverpool's defense is still very shaky. They need to control this match. Yes, I believe they will win this, and I'm more concerned about Palace on the last day than this one. So I do think Liverpool win this one, and then Palace in the finale will be a good one. But I just think getting 2 goals here is pretty valuable from Burnley, who can keep it tight.
Okay, I think the best angle for this game, and I was kicking myself yesterday because I saw it after 5 or 6 minutes, is corners. There was over 20 corners, West Brom versus Liverpool. And why? It's because Liverpool have got to keep going. They've got to keep going for the whole 90 minutes. They've got to make sure, and with their finishing, I think if the corner counts around 11 or 12, then you go over every single day of the week. And listen, don't get me wrong, the ball will be going into that Liverpool box and they will be flicking things on for, I think Burnley will contribute 5 or 6. I think Liverpool probably have 10 to 12 on their own. So if the market's around 12.5, you go over. Remember, there was over 20 corners yesterday. Right, let's have a look, Esteban, at the official picks, please. Let's have a look. Okay, we've got Man United and under 4.5 at -135 for Martin. Leeds, draw no bet, -115. Chelsea and under 4.5 goals at -105. Harry Kane, anytime goal scorer at -120. And Arsenal and over 1.5 at -125. That's his heart, not his head. Southampton over 3 goals in the game at -105 for Matt. Man City over 2.5 goals in the game at -120. Newcastle over 2.5 goals in the game at -115. Crystal Palace over 2.75 goals in the game at +100. And he's pulling out of the Burnley +2 at -119 at the moment on the fact that Pope might not play. Just 3 selections from me, but 4 units because Newcastle to win and over 1.5 at plus 110 is my banker. Southampton draw plus 290. I'm looking to come out of that maybe with 10 or 15 minutes ago. It's a draw. And Palace at plus 600. I think it's just a free shot. Even if Palace go 1-0 up, I can then bet Arsenal double chance for my stake and still have like 5-1 my money. Now, 2-team parlay with just 2 rounds of fixtures to go. I'll start with you, Martin.
I'm going to have to go for Man United to beat Fulham. This is an important game for them to get back to winning ways, and I think they've got more than enough quality to pull it off. Okay,
so it's Man United, and Matt, where are you going?
I'm going to go Mohamed Salah to score anytime. The price is around minus 170 is what it'll be, and I think that he scores and probably matches Kane, and I think that's a good one. United, Salah, and then I also like your Newcastle play as well, Flash.
Yeah, I like it when you give me a play in the parlay that's not even one of your official picks.
Salah
you just bust my... Yeah, Salah to score at any time.
He does.
So anyway, listen, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Ring the bell means I'll notify you. And tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern Time, myself, Craig and Kyle will be going through the US PGA Championships this week. It's the second major of the season. It's at Kira Island, South Carolina. Absolutely love this course. And I think it will go to a European or a small South African. So join us tomorrow. You take care.